Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that everything is set up properly. YouTube is having some problems tonight. A lot of you probably don't see this in your sub feed or you did not get a notification. So hopefully if you are watching this back, you enjoy the content. And unfortunately YouTube doesn't really like me tonight. Anyway, tonight we are going to be talking about a couple of requested things, a couple of interesting things, and one that actually surrounds me. I usually don't talk about outrage that surrounds me or when, people are mean on the internet, but I figured tonight we could actually do that because I did have a post about Jill blow up. So tonight I will be discussing Twitter and the outrage that has surrounded one of my posts about Jill in her classic costume being changed. I'm also going to talk about Dead or Alive 6 and how apparently now, after all of these microtransactions and all of the negativity that has surrounded the game, apparently they're done with the game. They have reached their final destination and they are no longer going to be updating the game. Literally, this game has been out for just about a year and they're giving up on it. They're not putting any new content out for it. It's done. It's over. What the fuck, Kawaii Tecmo? We're going to talk about Cooking Mama Cookstar being pulled from the eShop because apparently you bought the game and it was like mining cryptocurrency from your device and stealing your information. It's kind of a clusterfuck of a situation that we don't know the full truth, but I am going to read an article on it and kind of talk about what the developers said and how they said, no, that's not true. But the game was removed from the eShop only 4 hours after being put up. So there's obviously some sort of problem with it. Wow. I'm also going to talk about Birds of Prey and how Kathy Yan, I believe her name is, the director for Birds of Prey, said, I'm ready for Birds of Prey 2. And she literally wants to bring in Poison Ivy and ruin the character. She thinks that she can ruin Harley Quinn even more. I'm shocked that she thinks that the movie's going to get a sequel. And if the movie gets a sequel, I'm gonna be shocked. I'm gonna go crazy because I don't believe that it deserves a sequel. And I'm also going to talk about how Carlos Gomez revealed his final design for America Chavez, one of the characters, and apparently it's getting attacked because she's over-sexualized. We see so many times people complaining about characters being over-sexualized. And that's what they're doing yet again. It's a series and a character that a lot of people don't like, but it's the fact that this artist created the art that he wanted. He did not hold back what he wanted to create, and now he's being attacked for it. So those are the topics I am going to discuss tonight. I hope that you're all doing well. Before we get into the live stream, though, I just want to say hello. Yeah, please make sure to retweet. So I tweeted out that I'm streaming. Please go and retweet that if you can. Of course, if you're enjoying the content, it will help just because YouTube didn't send out notifications and it's not in the sub feed. I'm not sure why. But welcome, everyone. Dead or Alive 6 deserve to die along with garbage fighters such as Envy, CI, and Jump Force. I don't necessarily think Dead or Alive should die. I'm someone that doesn't necessarily think a franchise should die. If people like it and people are willing to play it, and, enjoy it, I don't think that it should necessarily just go away. I just think that they should handle the game in the franchise very differently, and they shouldn't monetize it to shit to the point where no one literally wants to play it because it's such fucking poorly monetized. I think that that's awful, that you're literally ruining franchises because you're a bunch of greedy developers and publishers that just want money, and you're just willing to ruin a franchise because you hope that your whale players will spend thousands of dollars, and then you don't need the average player to play your game. It's like they don't even want you to play the game, they just want you to spend money. They don't even care about the experience that a player has, they only care about making money. Abhorrent DLC practices that is becoming increasingly common in gaming. Yeah, and I mean, I talk quite a bit about censorship, but I also talk quite a lot about, poor monetization practices, which is something I do want to hit harder on. I do want to make more videos and content surrounding poor business practices in the industry. And I also want to talk more about anime. I wanted to get all of your opinions because I do talk a little bit about like Funimation and the censorship, but I've noticed there's been a lot of censorship in American anime, like by Funimation and all of these companies, and a lot of people don't really talk about it. There are some people, but a lot of people just go, you know, what does it matter? And I do want to talk more about that, but microtransactions and poor, you know, business practices is something that I do want to hit more on. I usually talk about them in the live stream and I'll make videos, but I really want to kind of hammer down on it a little bit more. DLC concept on games needs to die. Oh, I think my camera just went off. Damn it! Stop this. Damn it. Tonight is not my night, my friends. Tonight is not my night. I'm just fixing it real quick. Yikes. You know, guys, maybe tonight's just not the night. For some reason, it's not going back on. Let me try this again. Yeah, for some reason, my camera is not going back on. I know you guys can hear that noise. Yeah, it's not going back on for some reason. Oh my goodness. Tonight is not the night, my friends. Okay, there we go. For some reason, YouTube, my camera, I think I'm good now. I think we're alive. Okay, we're alive. Anyway, but yeah, all right. I will get started on the content in just a second. Welcome, Edvera. Welcome to me. I'm here now. I heard a lot of Resident Evil 3 fans are upset with Resident Evil 3 Remake. So I did actually live stream the Resident Evil 3 Remake, and I finished it in 5 hours and 3 minutes. It's short. It is definitely a short game. But it's not the worst game I've ever played. It was really fun for the content that was there. It just maybe wasn't the most fulfilling experience. Alright, so I guess we shall get started on the content. We shall get started on the discussion. Let me just check chat one more time. Vera got it in the game or tonight. Everything's kicking my ass tonight. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to give it a like. And of course, if you're not, make sure to give it a dislike. Alright, you guys, we are going to start on the first topic of the night, which is Dead or Alive 6. Now, I have talked about Dead or Alive 6 quite a few times over the past, you know, like year since it came out. I talked about Yohei Shimbori and his mixed statements on toning down the game for their female audience, and then he retracted that statement and said it was translation problems. I have harshly criticized the censorship in Dead or Alive 6. They have toned down female characters and male characters and said, you know what, we're going to tone down the art style, and they intentionally did, and they blamed it on like global standards and their female audience. I mean, they've used a lot of excuses, and I also have criticized the monetization practices. Dead or Alive 6 has some of the worst monetization practices I've seen. Now, granted, a lot of the other past Dead or Alive games do have a lot of microtransactions. They do have a lot of, I wouldn't say they're pay to win, they're mostly cosmetic items, but it's still the fact that they are there and they are very prominent. And recently I discussed how they were charging $1 to change your hair color, and it wasn't even an unlock, it was like a consumable. Dead or Alive 6 has had a lot of problems, and honestly it has been pretty ridiculous. But now, apparently, Dead or Alive 6, the April update will be the last update. The DLC train reaches its final destination. Koei Tecmo has announced that an upcoming update for its 3D fighter Dead or Alive 6 will be its last, bringing an end to a year of patches and expensive DLC practices. The final update, bringing Dead or Alive 6 to version 1.22, will include 2 sets of DLC costumes, the Revival High Society costumes and Revival school uniforms, along with a run of bug fixes and balance tweaks. After the patch is implemented, further DLC support will end for Dead or Alive 6. Although obviously the servers, rankings, and online store will remain available. They are stopping support for this game that they have literally sucked money out of people for. They are done with the content. They're going to add new outfits and more things you can buy with real money. But they're literally just saying the experience now is the experience that you get. It says, I found Dead or Alive 6 to be a disappointment. Following the excellent Dead or Alive 5 last round, and taking into account developer talk of having a whole new perspective of the franchise, focusing more on the fight and less on the cheese, it seemed like Dead or Alive 6 was going to be a rebirth of sorts, prepping the long-running series for its leap into the new generation. Now, I played Dead or Alive 6 when it came out. I don't play it much anymore. I think that the game itself is okay. There, over the past year, has been, some balance problems and some characters that are stronger than others. But I mainly stopped playing the game because it just got to a point where I feel like this with most fighting games. I like it for a while, and then I stop playing it for a little while, and then I come back with a new update. I mean, I think that's pretty normal for a lot of people, but Dead or Alive 6 has notoriously been bad, and especially with the DLC practices. It says, instead, we got the series' blandest entry in some time. Barely changed from its predecessor from either an aesthetic or gameplay standpoint. It was just more Dead or Alive 5 some 7 years after the title's initial release. In just 1 year, over $400 worth of DLC has been made available to purchase for Dead or Alive 6, some of it the same DLC from Dead or Alive 5. This focus came to a head literally with the recent hair color change controversy. They did what Capcom did with Resident Evil 3, and that was literally take elements from a previous game and just carefully paste them into another title so that they don't have to do as much work. They literally are just taking your money for doing no work. That is ridiculous. If Dead or Alive returns for the next gen, here's hoping it comes screaming to a new era. Switch up the roster, redesign the characters, choose a whole new aesthetic tone or visual style, take chances. Dead or Alive was a great series for years. It's fast, read-heavy punch-ups are intense, engaging, and at times breathtaking. Make us remember what brought Dead or Alive to the dance, light a fire under the competitive scene again, and perhaps just once leave the shopping mall priorities at home. I agree with this. I felt like Dead or Alive 6 didn't bring a lot to the table. Now, do I expect them to release a game like this, maybe a fighter game, and have it be some revolutionary, brand new, combat and style? No. I'm someone that doesn't expect them to, completely change every element of a game when going from something like 5 to 6. But I do expect new content and for it to be updated and upgraded and to feel, smoother and just to feel like a better game. And unfortunately, Dead or Alive 6 really didn't feel like that. Dead or Alive 6 just felt, like they say, Dead or Alive 5, but even a little bit worse. So that's all that they really said for Dead or Alive 6. They are literally done. They are done supporting the game after telling people you have to spend all of this money on microtransactions. Now, granted, they're cosmetic. You don't have to buy them to progress the game. It's not like there's a $50 item that you can't play a specific game mode unless you purchase. But there comes a point when it's too excessive. And in my opinion, Dead or Alive 6 is far too heavy on the microtransactions. I know that there aren't a lot of people that want to collect everything in a game like cosmetics. I'm one of those people. I love to, when I get into a game, to collect as many cosmetics as I can. I'm someone that plays a lot of MMOs. I try to collect all of the items that I can. Yes, granted, some of them are things that you can only obtain by purchasing them with real money. Maybe they're special edition. I'm okay with that, but there comes a point where you have like $1,000 worth of microtransactions in your game, and it's a joke. It's a fucking joke. And this is even more of a joke because they're saying after a year of it being out, they're ditching it. This is ridiculous. This is a slap in the face to any of your players. I want to get a competitive Dead or Alive player to come on a stream with me and really talk to me about their experiences starting from Dead or Alive 6, from the very beginning to now, their reactions to how the game is done. It's done. I would love to get a competitive Dead or Alive 6 player to talk to me, maybe in just like a Dead or Alive focused stream. I don't know if any of you guys know anyone. If you do, let me know. But yeah, wow. I knew that they were shady and that they were doing all of these really intense microtransactions, but I did not think that they were done. I did not think that this game would be out for a year and they would say, we're done supporting it. Whatever is there is whatever you get. They literally are only on version 1.22. I felt over the past year, I have felt very passionate about Dead or Alive 6 because I am a fan of the Dead or Alive franchise. Dead or Alive 6 is a thumbs down. There is nothing about this game that is unique, amazing, even great. A lot of it is just mediocre. And will I ever be sponsored by Koei Tecmo? No. The screen just flashed 3 times again. Why is the screen flash? I didn't see the screen flash. Did it? I don't see it on my playback. I don't see it on my playback. Did any of you guys see the screen flash 3 times? I'm not sure. YouTube is giving me a lot of problems tonight, guys. I am sorry. It's not sending out notifications. It's not in the sub feed. It's giving me a lot of problems tonight, unfortunately. Bear is a fan of Dead or Alive, never mentioned. I'm a fan of fighting games, like Mortal Kombat 11. Let me rant about this for a second. I was so fucking excited for Mortal Kombat 11. I thought the story sounded great. I thought the characters were cool at first. I thought that like the new school versus old school sort of thing sounded interesting. But they toned down female characters. They said we're toning it down because we want to respect our female players. I mean, they completely changed how the characters looked. That game was mediocre too. I don't know what's up, but fighting games over the past, I would say 3 years has been pretty dull. I feel like fighting games in the past like 3 years have just been kind of there. They haven't been they haven't been like amazing. Like they haven't been captivating to the point where I want to purchase this game, buy all the microtransactions and play it as much as I could. I've always been a big fighting game fan, but recently, not for me, honestly. It hasn't been what it could be, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure why the screen is flashing. I don't see any issues on my end, because usually it'll tell me if there's a problem. I'm sorry, you guys. That sucks. That flash was me. Not sure. Ricardo, yeah, they had made comments on how they wanted to get rid of the stripper look. It was ridiculous. And not to say that there aren't any good fighting games out right now. That's definitely not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, most of the ones released, a lot of the bigger franchises have just been letdowns, in my opinion. Yeah, YouTube is fucked tonight. Not sure why, honestly. Not sure why. But I will move into the next topic in a minute. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say with Dead or Alive. Unfortunately, they're done supporting it. It's ridiculous that they're done supporting it. I may make a whole video going through the timeline of Dead or Alive 6 if you guys would be interested in that. But hands down, like, don't buy this game. Do not support Koei Tecmo with this franchise. I am sticking clear of Koei Tecmo for now, due to how they've acted. Not for me. Alright, you guys, we are going to move into the next topic of the night, which is one that I find pretty interesting. Now, this one, there's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of speculations. Nothing is 100% like confirmed right now besides the removal of the game. But Cooking Mama Cookstar was pulled from the Nintendo eShop after accusations of cryptocurrency mining. Cooking Mama needs to make a living, okay, you guys? And if she needs to mine Bitcoin from your Nintendo Switch, a woman's gotta do what a woman's gotta do, right? Fans of Cooking Mama were in for a shock when they tried to purchase the new game from the Nintendo eShop on its release date last week. On March 31st, Cooking Mama Cookstar was slated to release on the Nintendo Switch in the US. It briefly appeared online and then disappeared shortly after, prompting an outcry for fans on social media. So what they did was the game had released on the Nintendo eShop, and then 4 hours after it was released on the Nintendo eShop, they removed it. They made no statements. The developers had made no statements. And it's still not clear as to why. But not only did gamers struggle to get their hands on digital copies, but according to Nintendo Life, physical copies were equally scarce. Today, Nintendo Life reports that new accusations have emerged against the game developers, alleging that Cookstar is using blockchain technology to mine bitcoins off of your Nintendo Switch and steal user information. So basically, Cooking Mama is scamming us. Cooking Mama became a worldwide trending topic on Twitter after the shocking rumor went viral. People began suspecting the game was mining cryptocurrency after the developers announced the game would integrate blockchain technology. So the developers did say that the game would integrate blockchain technology. That was actually their last tweet before all of this happened. Literally, the last thing they said, and then they went silent for like 4 days, that is what they said. So Ryan Brown, a popular member of the video game community and source for news, reached out to the game developers and managed to receive a statement about Cookstar's status and the strange rumors dogging the game. They said, as the developers, we can say with certainty that there is no cryptocurrency or data collection or blockchain or anything else shady in the code. That sounds pretty suspicious to me. No cryptocurrency or data collection or blockchain or anything else shady in the code. The Nintendo Switch is a very safe platform with none of the data and privacy issues associated with some mobile games and PC games. Okay. But what about your game? Based on the Nintendo Life article and Brown's Twitter thread, it would appear that the blockchain technology was initially part of the game's code, but then they later removed it, which may have led to some of the game's poor optimization. So basically, they were going to put this in the code, and then they decided at the very last minute, it sounds like, to remove it, but they didn't even know the problems that it would cause to remove it. Why would they put it in there in the first place if they were just going to back out at the last minute? The oddities surrounding this game release go back to the fact that it remains unclear who published the game exactly. We literally don't even know the publisher of this game. As IGN reported on Friday, there were some discrepancies about the company behind Cooking Mama Cookstar. The original series was made by a Japanese developer called Office Create, who eventually changed their name to Cooking Mama Ltd. From there, things started to get strange. I didn't fucking know that Cooking Mama was in such a conspiracy. I didn't know there were such conspiracy theories surrounding Cooking Mama. I have never heard about any of this. My brain is like, right now. Seemingly just to confuse me further, it seems that at some point, it changed its name back to Office Create, the developer listed on the most recently released Cooking Mama games. But neither of those company names are on the packaging or merchandising for Cookstar, IGN reported. You would think that if you're a developer or publisher, your name, like your company name, would be on the packaging somewhere. But it's not. The next developer listed was First Playable, but there is no mention of the game on their website. On the official game box, it indicates Planet Entertainment, which is part of Planet Digital Partners, is its developer. But the path also leads to a dead end, as neither company will take credit for making the game. Who the fuck made this game? Who's associated with this? According to IGN, there's no mention of the game on the Planet Entertainment website, and they allegedly deleted older posts about the game. So at this point, it remains unclear what happened behind the scenes of Cookstar and whether the latest release was even legitimate. The game has been removed from all seller websites, including GameStop and Amazon. Still, some fans have managed to get their hands on copies before the game was pulled from shelves. So basically, we have no clue what's going on with this game. So, the game was, after 4 hours, removed from the Nintendo eShop. The developers have said they originally wanted to put blockchain into the code, but they removed it at the last minute. But it's still not up on the eShop. You still can't find a physical copy of it. If anyone has a physical copy of this game, please send it to me. I actually legitimately want one. Is this a legitimate game? Did they get, like, rights to do this game? Is there some random company that published it and that's why Nintendo removed it? There were also claims that people had purchased the game and the game had overheated their Switch. There were multiple people online saying that they had purchased this game and they started it and it was like overheating their Nintendo Switch in a half hour. It was bricking their systems. There's no confirmation at this point if this is true or not, if Cooking Mama is really crypto Cooking Mama. We have no clue. But yikes, this is a clusterfuck. This might have been removed from the eShop for normal reasons. Maybe there was a music problem, or maybe there was just a legitimate problem with the game. But if the game was really using blockchain to mine Bitcoin off of people's Switches, there are some serious federal laws here that were broken. I mean, serious things. People could go to jail here if these claims are true. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying they're true. They're alleged right now. There's no confirmation, but there's a lot of rumors circulating right now, but this story is so far really crazy. I do want to keep track of it. I do hope that we hear more information about it. The developers did say none of this is true, but until the game is put back on the eShop, I guess we really won't know. So yeah, that's all that I really had to talk about with that. I will be following this situation, though. I am curious to see where it will go and what will happen with it. It's kind of intense, honestly. I'm a little bit shocked that Cooking Mama's such a scammer. I don't know how many physical copies were made or how many physical copies are out there, but I do actually want to get my hands on one. I bet that they're going to go for a ton of money online. I'm sure that if the people that got physical copies, if there are really even any physical copies that are out there, I'm sure that they're going to be expensive, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to buy them. Bitcoin Mama, yeah. I can't believe Mama's scamming us, you guys. She's using us. She's using us, guys. Alright, on to the next topic. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I needed a sip of my coffee before this one. So, I have talked about Birds of Prey a couple of times now. I have talked about how I made like an overall review on the movie. I talked about my problems with it, how it was very anti-male. I talked about things like the actors and the actresses making statements about the movie that really hurt its reputation. I have talked about the character designs. I think the character designs in this movie, in Birds of Prey, were awful. But now, Kathy Yan wants the Birds of Prey sequel to have a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy romance. None of this is confirmed. I'm just gonna say, the sequel is not confirmed. So Birds of Prey made, I believe it was like I believe it's at this point like 200 million in the box office. Birds of Prey box office numbers. Birds of Prey in the box office has made almost $200 million. Not great, not terrible. But Cathy Yan, which was the director, she wants a sequel. Now, will a movie that made $200 million get a sequel? I guess we will see in time. But the Birds of Prey director, Cathy Yan, already has ideas for the sequel. Although a direct Birds of Prey follow-up has not yet been officially confirmed, Yan has already started plotting out where she would take Harley Quinn on her next adventures, and with whom. And the character will be very familiar to longtime fans of Harley Quinn in both of her animated and comic book forms. In an interview with The Wrap, Cathy Yan said that she were to direct a Birds of Prey sequel, she would focus on the fan-favorite dynamic of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. Now, I just want to say that I'm obviously okay with a relationship with two girls. I have no problems with LGBT relationships. I have no problems with those. My problem here is that she's already thinking of ways to make characters interact, and it sounds like it may be forced. Now, granted, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy has always been a very, she's been a very suggestive character, the way she looks, the way she acts, the way she holds herself. And I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy have a story, and maybe they flirt a little bit, maybe they're a little bit, flirty with each other. I think that you guys know what I mean. Suggestive with each other. But the problem here is that she's already thinking of ways to, throw in narratives and to throw in this diversity and this inclusivity that they talk about. And she hasn't even gotten confirmed for a sequel. As Grimm said, forced diversity is not real diversity. So, she said, I would love to see Poison Ivy, and I would certainly love to see the relationship between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. A Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy romance, or at least a criminal team-up, seems to be on everyone's minds, as Margot Robbie recently said that she has also been pushing for the eco-friendly supervillain to appear alongside her Harley Quinn. One character I've been pushing, for as long as I've been pushing for this film is Poison Ivy, she told Film. I mean, there's two versions of that, and with some comics it's friendship, some comics it's romantic. Either way, I want to explore that because I just love their relationship so much in the comics. Why do we have to have someone like Poison Ivy? Why can't she have a male character? Harley Quinn's been interested in other male characters. What about the Joker? Why can't we have Joker? Are we done with Joker? Are they not talking about Joker in the movies anymore? Is he done? Is he out? I understand that it's Birds of Prey, and they're trying to bring in the strong female characters. Who's going to be the villain? Where are the male characters? Why does it always have to be a female and female romance? I understand that, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy in some places have been in romantic relationships. That is previous storylines with them. This isn't a brand new idea. But we're just kind of throwing away Harley's past romance and just saying fuck the men with this. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy have long been paired together, first becoming partners in crime in Batman the Animated Series during one of Harley's breaks with the Joker. Their gleeful chemistry and the Thelma and Louise inspired dynamic in the animated series became so popular that their friendship was soon integrated into the comics. Harley and Ivy would appear as allies and maybe more in the comics and animated shows, but their romantic relationship only became canon recently in 2015. The second season of DC Universe's animated Harley Quinn series, in which Poison Ivy is a recurring character and Harley's sardonic best friend, will see Ivy finally become Harley's romantic partner. I would love to see Harley and Poison Ivy together. I would love to see a movie or a film or a TV show with them having that kind of Thelma and Louise dynamic. Like, oh, they're always finishing each other's sentences. Like, when they're beating the shit out of someone, she smashes the person with the mallet, and then Poison Ivy, kisses him and he dies of poison. I would love to see that dynamic between them. I just don't want them to go into a movie thinking, how can we make this as diverse as we can? What named characters can we take from comics and from previous storylines and throw them all into one story and see what we can do? They've completely forgotten about the Joker. They've completely forgotten about all of these fucking male characters. And it finishes off with a Birds of Prey sequel is still unconfirmed, but Yan doesn't dismiss the possibility, despite the film's somewhat disappointing box office returns. I think people aren't ready to let go of Harley Quinn quite yet, you know. Margot and I don't think is ready to let go of Harley Quinn yet either. I think that Margot Robbie is a pretty good actress. I think that she's played Harley pretty well. I don't want to see this forced diversity. If you're going to bring in Poison Ivy, just do it. The sequel is not confirmed yet. I honestly don't know if it should get a sequel. That's just my opinion. But if you're going to do something, just do it. You don't need to say, well, I'm going to throw in this diverse character. We're going to throw in this diverse relationship. We're going to be as inclusive as we can. Don't talk about it. Just do it, because then it makes it feel more natural. Like you actually thought about the story and you wanted people to feel surprised and not go, oh, I'm only seeing this because there's diversity in it, and that's the market they're trying to target, and those people don't watch movies, and those people, again, don't buy games. I talk about it so much. We have people attacking developers and saying censor this and censor that, yet they're not the people that purchase games, and these are not people that are going to go to the box office. Obviously, you did not get a lot of the strong woman power anti-male people going to see this movie, since I believe it was 60% of the people that went to see this movie were men. And it was a movie directly targeting men, how men are bad. Does that show for anything? I'm not sure. So that's all that I had to talk about. Obviously, the sequel is not confirmed yet. But I just kind of wanted to talk about how they're thinking about doing this Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy romance if Kathy Yan was to get her hands on the sequel, and if she was able to just do whatever she wanted with the character, that's what she would do. I don't particularly like that idea. I do like the idea of Poison Ivy. I think that she is a very sexy, seductive, very feminine character, and I really do like her. But do I want them to just put Poison Ivy in this movie to say, oh, we have a lesbian relationship or we have a two girls relationship? No. I don't want a movie just because of that. I want it to feel natural, and I want it to feel like it's part of the story. I want to see their relationship progress, and maybe at the end of the movie, you know, there's a little bit of chemistry there, but I don't want them to go into the movie, we literally meet Poison Ivy for like 20 minutes, and then that's their dynamic. I want it to feel natural, and I want it to come naturally. That's the best word I can use. Alright, we are going to move to the next topic, which is, of course, people attacking a character design because apparently it's too sexy. Apparently it's just too sexy. Vera, make a perfect Poison Ivy. Make it happen for Halloween, Vera. I don't know if I'd make a perfect Poison Ivy. I feel like the Poison Ivies that we've seen in the past were, they just, I don't know. I don't know if I could play a Poison Ivy. I think I could play a Jean Grey. That character I could play. Hell yeah. Alright. So, Carlos Gomez reveals his final America Chavez design, and of course, fans are deeming it over-sexualized. Of course, fans, in quotes, are attacking it because it's too over-sexualized. With the destruction of the comic book industry on the horizon, Marvel Comics has decided to face the apocalypse with 3 defiant declarations of boldness, bravery, and vision. The relaunch of the New Warriors, Children of the Atom, and the New America Chavez series. While the New Warriors and Children of Atom seem to be cut from the same unsellable cloth, the America Chavez Made in the USA book looked like it might have some life. I'm just going to give my initial opinions on this cover. I think this cover actually looks pretty good. I actually think this cover looks pretty good. I really like the background. I think that it's very America. It looks cool. I like the color scheme. I think that her outfit looks pretty good. I don't think that she looks bad. I think it's an okay cover. It's one of the better covers I've seen recently. And it says, from a design aspect, Carlos Gomez recently debuted his final design on Instagram. And this is her. The final outfit design after the editing process written by the amazing Cowling Drone, it says, June 2020. Holy smokes! What? Someone's designing a character in a slightly suggestive way where the character actually looks feminine because she actually has curves? People still do that? Okay, I'm gonna be honest, her butt is really big. Okay, her butt is really dramatic, but she's a fictional character, so she can be. She's a fictional character, so she can be quite thick. I'd say not safe for work, but no one's going to work right now because of the virus, so is it just not safe for home? Whoo! I like her design. But aside, I think that she looks very feminine, but she also looks very strong and very, very tough. I mean, if you look at, like, her leg muscles and, like, her abdomen, you can see this girl is ripped. This girl is jacked. I love the hair. I think the length is really good. She looks attractive. And of course, that's the problem. Let's scroll through the other pictures. Wow. She looks good. Okay, the butt again. Oh my goodness. That's one butt. Does she have a butt superpower? She better. I think the character design looks really good. The face looks really good too. Shows a lot of emotion. Obviously, she just looks like a tough character, and I really like that. The shoes are kind of cool. You know, the red, white, and blue. He really did theme her properly. She does look properly themed. And of course, people are attacking the design because apparently it's just too inappropriate. I'll say I like that she looks a little softer compared to the first draft, but I think I prefer the old jacket better, even if it's busier. It's a little more distinct compared to the more recent ones. This one is a bit of a... So this is the final design. It's a little bit different than this one. It says, but whatever the result, it's just hard to get over how sexualized this is. He does say that this art doesn't reflect the tone of the series, and I really hope we're not getting anything close to this on panel. It's just inexcusable. Having a female character look like a female is inexcusable. What? Seriously? She looks great. She doesn't just look like a girl that's wearing, you know, like a tube top and, you know, panties and, you know, maybe like a sexy Starfire outfit. I think that, you guys know the outfit that I'm talking about, where it's basically just two pieces of cloth. It's not like that. She's wearing like shorts that are like half thigh length. She's wearing a tank top. She's wearing a jacket. It's not like it's very revealing. Just because she has curves doesn't mean that it's inexcusable. Real women have curves like this. Real women have butts like this. Not a lot of them, and that's a nice butt. She in her chest looks fine. She looks fine. She's not over sexualized just because she has an ass. Women have those. Hint, hint, so do men. When he was announced as the artist, that was my big fear, not gonna lie. America herself looks good. She looks as strong and thick as she should. She also looks like a piece of meat. It might be a lot better in the book itself, but right now, it's a red flag. I wonder if Marvel chose this artist and this style specifically because it would appease comics gators. By the way, they said comics gators like an alligator. Gator, not Gater. Comic dater. Rar. America is so cool now. She's not like those silly SJW characters with their covered bodies and respect for women. It is perfectly fine to have a female character that is covered. I would say this character is pretty covered up. She's not showing a lot of skin besides her legs. Like, she has full-length shorts. She has a top on. She is pretty damn covered up. She is wearing something that a real woman would wear. Just because the clothes are tight doesn't mean she's over-sexualized. It says, personally, I've been a fan of the character since she was utilized in the Avengers Academy series. I appreciated her design, origin, and power set up to her usage of Al Ewing's The Ultimates. Visually, depending on who's drawing her, she's more or less looked the same over the years. And then it says, this wasn't Gomez's first attempt at redesigning America, if you can call it that. His first set of models were a bit more toned and muscled, but not a far cry from the second effort. It would seem that the imprint of the character's posture, as would be the case while wearing yoga pants, has triggered some of Miss America's fan base. Her shorts are definitely shorter in this one. These are some short shorts. I think that she looks fine. I do not think that she looks bad or awful. This art's really good too. Honestly, Chavez does some great work. Like, this art looks great. And then it says, from a sales point of view, America's books haven't been a smash hit. Seeing a company attempted a change, of course, isn't the end of the world. To be honest, Gomez himself said his designs may not be reflective of what will be found between the covers, so all of this outrage and eye-rolling may be for naught. I think that she looks really good. I personally have not, been a big fan of this character. I'll be honest. I'm not like some huge die-hard fan. But I think this design looks really good. And honestly, I think this is how characters should look. I don't think that she looks over-sexualized. Women have real butts. Women have real chests. The clothes are acceptable. She's not showing a shit ton of skin besides her legs. And she's showing how jacked she is. This character's not some feminine little flower. She's got a lot of muscle, a lot of tone. And I honestly think the character looks good. So if you don't like it, just don't look at it. Honestly. They're just... It says, he said himself, this may not reflect what is in the book itself, but it's just a cover and promotional material. I think that this looks great. Carlos Gomez, you have done an amazing job, and I cannot wait to see what else you will create in the future. Alright. That's my opinion on it. Honestly, I think that it looks pretty good. I would say that character looks like an actual comic book character. If you don't like it, just don't look. Is it that hard? The people that are outraged obviously aren't buying the comic book anyway, since America's comics have not sold that well at all. So obviously they're not buying it. So if you don't like it, just scroll past it and don't look. Is it that hard? Is it that hard to do? Seriously? Is it that hard to do? Alright, you guys. Now, we are gonna move to the good stuff. I am going to move to talking about the post on Jill that I had created the other day that I have gotten quite a lot of backlash over. I'm just gonna bring it up real quick. So, a lot of you guys have asked me to talk about this. I wasn't going to at first. I usually don't talk about any outrage that surrounds me or, anyone disliking my posts. But this blew the hell up. And I just want to talk about it. So, a couple of days ago, I think that should be good on the screen. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you guys. So the other day I had made a post about Jill and how Jill's Resident Evil 3 pre-order costume is not her original outfit. I said they changed her skirt to a skort. I guess the ethics department wins again. Now, when it comes to Resident Evil and Capcom, we have seen them, make statements. The art director made a statement 2 weeks ago saying they intentionally toned down Jill's sex appeal because they didn't feel that was what they wanted to do. They felt like that wasn't a good market to go for. And we have heard recently about internal ethics departments making making companies and developers tone down their art and tone down the way that their characters look. So of course, when I found out that Jill's skirt was made into a skirt, which is shorts with like a piece of fabric around it to appear like a skirt, I had made a tweet on it. It has over 3,000 likes, 558 retweets, and I believe it has like 800 comments. And most of the comments are people going, why the fuck do you care? Sorry, you didn't get a boner over this. Now, if you have watched any of my content, you all know that it's not because I couldn't get a panty shot. It's not because there was a panty shot here. I had said this because I've talked a lot about censorship in the gaming industry over the past like year and a half now that I've been doing YouTube. And I, of course, got some pretty negative comments on it, and I thought that we could read some of them. I don't talk about negativity surrounding me a lot, but I really wanted to talk about some of the people that comment that have no fucking clue about internal ethics department and how much censorship truly goes on in the gaming industry. So, of course, people were saying, why, why are you complaining? Sorry you didn't get a boner. And I had said, she's a fictional character set in a fictional apocalypse with fictional monsters. So why does her clothing need to look realistic? I'm okay with realistic outfits, but when you are selling people a product that is called a classic costume pack, you should give us that. Because they originally said, oh, the pre-order costume is supposed to be her original classic outfit. I made a video on this. The wording was very tricky. They said it's supposed to be her classic outfit, inspired by her classic outfit. And originally, they didn't say it was inspired. That word was left out. But, okay, so they made a small change. It's not about me not getting a panty shot. It's about the censorship. It's about changing things. And I said small changes are still changes. It's not even about the change itself. But once you give up an outfit here, give up a small change there, then suddenly all of the character's originality is gone. I wasn't necessarily talking about Jill. I wasn't saying just because she's in a skirt, that means that her originality's gone. No. I meant that once you start being okay with these things, like, oh, they changed her tank top to a long sleeve shirt, and then there's this, and then there's that. Eventually, all the characters are going to look the same. They're all going to be in turtlenecks and pants, and they're not going to have any originality because their developers are afraid to create their characters that show skin. And I have a couple of funny things. So the first one is Rami had retweeted it. He blocked out my picture, even though it's super easy to find people's Twitter posts. He said, y'all, let's see what the gamers are upset about today. Oh my fucking god, really, y'all? And then someone said, Lyle said, are you with the woman who made this tweet is now getting dogpiled with all sorts of abuse and trolling? Or do you only care when it happens to women who share your views? Because he has said in the past, he has made some pretty obvious comments about women and how, believe women. Not gonna get into it. That's his deal. But it got almost 2K likes because he's just shitting on something that he has no clue about. Someone said she's in a zombie apocalypse. Why would she be in a miniskirt? How is that practical? How is a zombie apocalypse practical? Okay. Answer that question. How is a zombie apocalypse practical? So what does it matter if she's in a skirt because a zombie apocalypse isn't practical? Can someone answer me that? Can someone answer me that? How is the zombie apocalypse practical? For fuck's sake. Now, there was actually a cosplayer. I don't know if you guys know who she is. Her name is Pocket. She is a Twitch streamer that does very revealing costumes. And I'll say it, she's pretty good at what she does. So here's the story. She had retweeted Rami's tweet and said, all I read in this image is, wah, I can't perv up her skirt anymore, and I'm gonna blame devs for cock blocking me. So many entitled man babies in gaming. I'm a man now? So just because I want to fight censorship and say this isn't okay, you automatically call me a man? Aren't you the type of person that is against misgendering people. I'm not a man, so how am I an entitled man baby? Again, it's not the fact that it's the skirt that was changed. It's the fact that they make these changes and then openly admit we changed her art style and toned her down so she's not as sexy. But these people don't know that because they don't actually listen. And then she fucking blocked me. This is it. So she literally tweeted that. She literally tweeted that and then blocked me. Meaning she knew that I was a woman. She tweeted that and openly knew that I was a woman. She is saying it's disgusting that you're over-sexualizing female characters in video games. But isn't it a little bit ironic that she sells pictures of herself in lingerie, in sexy cosplays? I'm not here to judge her. I'm okay with people, you know, creating cosplays that are maybe a little bit more sexy. I think that she does good work. I've seen her on Twitter before. I've seen her on Twitch before. I've never had a problem with her. I'm okay with cosplayers that cosplay a little bit more sexy outfits. I think that that's perfectly fine. But she literally called me an entitled man baby. And then blocked me, meaning she knew that I was a female because she found my Twitter and blocked me. A story in 2 pictures. Of course. We have this person. This one's good. Is it just so hard to redo this? Resident Evil 1 remake is still the best Resident Evil remake of all time, and game remake. Jill looks pretty good there. Let me find some more, because I don't want to attack people just for saying, well, I disagree, because that's fine. You guys can disagree with my opinion, but my opinion is not about the fact that it's a score. It's the fact that we have art directors saying they intentionally change things. Such a subtle change, but not necessary. Should have kept her in the miniskirt. I agree. Someone said, who cares? Well, obviously you care about me caring. I care. I care about censorship. Do you not care about censorship? Are you okay with censorship? Because I'm not okay with censorship. They say, who cares? Yet they're taking the time to comment who cares, so obviously they're triggered by the fact that I care. Shorts make more sense so you can't move for shit in a mini tight skirt. Okay. Yes, I will agree with that. I think that maybe characters running around in high heels is silly sometimes, or, you know, wearing a tight mini skirt. But it was the fact that why does it have to look realistic? Why does it matter? She's in a zombie apocalypse. Zombie apocalypses aren't real. At least not yet. Let me phrase that properly. Let me see. Someone said, I can't find a single complaint for you about the costume and general model design changes to Nikolai, Carlos, Mikhail, Nemesis, Marcus. I will actually be talking about these in my review. The thing is that I can't follow along with everything that happens. You know, when it's announced or we see trailers of character designs being changed, I talk about it. And I'm going to talk about this in my review, but of course they just jump on, oh, why aren't you, you know, looking at the male characters? Why do you only care about the females? Someone says, I'm mad, I can't jack off to pixels. Oh yeah, guys, I can't jack off to pixels. Oh, so bothered. Someone posted, sorry you didn't get a boner. Okay. It's not about that. I love this one. People showing up to the replies to cry about how much they don't care about this. It's true. If you don't like my opinion, just move on. You can block me. You can mute me so you never see my posts again. The point here wasn't the skirt. Someone said, now that's some false advertisement garbage. So it's not false advertisement. So the thing is that they did change it to say inspired by their original costumes. But at first, when they were sharing like that you can pre-order when you pre-order the game, you get the DLC of their outfits, they just said the classic costume pack. They didn't say it was inspired by their classic costumes. They just said classic costume pack. So you obviously can't sue them because they covered their asses, but still, it's changed. Their outfits are changed. Let me see what else. This tweet is actually embarrassing. Well, I don't like censorship, so what does it matter? If you're so bothered by it, don't comment. They say, is it really that serious? It's not about the skirt. I'm sorry that in this one shot, her skirt was kinda different. It's awful that this moment was stolen from you. Imagine caring about a fictional character's miniskirt. Okay, they say imagine caring about a fictional character's miniskirt, yet I bet they're the type of person that will complain if a character's too over-sexualized. I obviously am not going to go to their Twitter, and I'm not going to scroll through their tweets and, call them out on stuff, but I bet they're the type of person that probably gets upset when a character's too over-sexualized. Vera Dork. I actually kind of like that. Someone commented, I see you call yourself emotionally fragile. Her tweet hurt your feelings, you poor boy. I think that's funny. Someone blocked me. This account owner limits who can see their tweets. Then they comment, nobody cares. Well, obviously you care enough to comment on it. Let's see what else. I think most people are going to be too busy actually playing the game to notice. I bought the game. I was gifted the game. I played the game on live stream. That's my problem, is that a lot of these comments are like, why do you fucking care? Like, you're not going to buy the game anyway. I bought the game. I own the game. I already played through the game. I live streamed the game. I don't see any of you talking about your experiences with Resident Evil 3. I still bought the game even though there were things that I didn't like in it. I still played it. I'm still going to make a review on it, and I'm going to say it was a pretty good game despite a couple of problems. I don't think that it's the end of the world, and I don't think a lot of the changes that were made in Resident Evil 3 were, enough to boycott the game. I'm not someone that says boycott games. I don't think I have ever said boycott a game. I personally don't think that boycotts work. A lot of people, if you like a franchise, you're going to buy the franchise. If you like a character, you're going to buy merchandise that has the character. I'm not going to tell someone to boycott a game. If you like it, buy it, support it, but you need to be aware of the problems that are going on, and look at something like Dead or Alive 6, you need to be aware of the shitty, shady microtransactions that they're putting into their games, and the way that they're treating customers by only updating a game for a year and then ditching it, taking your money and running. These are the things that I'm worried about. I'm not worried about a panty shot. I'm worried about the bigger picture here. There's a bigger picture, and a lot of these people don't know about censorship in the gaming industry. They just think, oh, one change is minor, who cares? It's the fact that it adds up. Over the past 2 years that I've been doing YouTube, pretty solid, almost everyday content, I've talked about a lot of censorship. But they don't realize that. They just instantly react. They don't click on my profile, see my YouTube, and then type in censor. If you go to my YouTube channel and type the word censor, I have over 100 videos, / live streams too, that talk about censorship in gaming and entertainment and in the comics industry. I talk a lot about that. It's not just me making a comment because I'm triggered that there's no panty shot. It's the bigger picture here. It's the bigger picture. That's my problem. I'll read a couple more. I don't want to get too much into it. There's hundreds of comments. There's almost 1,000 comments. But I just wanted to read a couple. Mods will save the justice once again. I do think that it's cool that there's modders and that modders will eventually mod it. I don't know how many times I'm actually going to replay the Resident Evil 3 remake because it's so short and there's only one story. I plan to replay it a couple of times though. Let me see. You should absolutely cry about it. I'm mad because I can't look up a character's skirt. Well, it's because it's more than that. I'm gonna go to my profile real quick because there was actually a tweet that I want to share with you. Oh, by the way, the Quartering did make a video on, pro women SJWs attacking me and, Melanie Mac. But someone had asked, honest question, is this a legitimate concern or is this just outrage to get likes? I ask because the costume was based off of the original outfit, so I'd say that goal was met, wouldn't you? I said, of course it's a legitimate concern. I discuss censorship in the gaming industry very often. The problem is companies like Valve and Sony force developers to self-censor their work or it isn't allowed on the platform, so now developers are too afraid to create the content that they want. Developers then self-censor the work and say things like, we did it because global standards are changing, and we brought in an internal ethics department to double-check our work. They shouldn't need to do that. The art director said they toned down Jill in Resident Evil 3. I stand by this comment. Of course it's a legitimate concern. I don't bring up issues of censorship to, get these hate clicks and stuff. These are legitimate concerns. As someone that plays games, you guys see, I live stream playing games all the time. It's an important issue to me and a lot of other people. It's not just because I'm a toxic incel. There were actually comments of people saying, Vera's obviously like a lesbian because she's so bothered by this. You're really going to assume my sexual orientation because I'm worried about a character being changed? Seriously? This one you guys are gonna love. Someone said, gamers are subhuman. If we shoved more people in lockers, these nerds wouldn't have based their entire personalities on their boring hobbies. I bet this person has a lot of hobbies that we would fucking call boring too. I said one of the worst takes I've seen in a while. I think that is ridiculous to automatically say, like, you are a subhuman person because you like something that I don't understand. I bet you like stuff too. I don't attack you over the things that you like. I bet if I scroll down your Twitter feed, I could find stuff that you like or a person you like or a content creator you like and say you're shit because you like them, but I'm not going to do that because it's pointless. If you don't like it, don't look at it. If you don't care about censorship, first of all, you should care. But just move on then. Don't look at the post. You don't have to leave a nasty reaction just because you don't like my opinion. It's my fucking opinion. If you don't like my opinion, you don't have to follow me, you don't have to subscribe to me, and you don't have to know my content. You don't have to. Yellow Flash said, she's already showing too much ankle. Someone said, I'm offended by her shoulder being exposed. I love that. Yeah, people were calling me, like, a lesbian and saying, like, all of the, like, assuming my sexual orientation just because I commented on this. Someone said you can just Google porn, right? Someone said it doesn't even look like her. I mean, I think Jill's okay. I don't think that she's awful. She's not, maybe, I think that the actress that played her, that she was designed off of is good, but I feel like it didn't correlate right. Someone said Resident Evil 2 was censored in Japan for being too gory. Please explain why a horror game being censored for international audience is okay, but a skirt being longer than it is worth making an entire YouTube video over. It's not okay. It shouldn't be censored. Now, yes, in Japan and China, they have very different standards than we do, but it's not okay. And if I had known about this earlier, before the game would have came out, I would have talked about it. But the thing is that there's a lot of censorship that happens in the gaming industry. And a lot of people don't know about it. Like, all of these people commenting, who fucking cares? They obviously don't know the extent. They don't know Devil May Cry 5 was censored. They don't know, that like, this game has a little bit of censorship. The Resident Evil 2 was changed. They don't know about all of these big franchises that have had art toned down, like Mortal Kombat, because the director said, well, we don't want to go for sexy anymore. They just don't understand that. And that's okay, but you shouldn't be ignorant to it. If someone points out that this is censored, and maybe you're slightly interested, obviously these people are in the gaming sphere and know about gaming because they're looking at gaming content, maybe they should take 2 minutes and go, she has a video up that says censorship is ruining the gaming industry. Maybe you should just watch it, or Google the topic if you don't want to watch it. But these people are too ignorant to do that. I'm not here to get hate clicks because it's cool and edgy and I'm trying to, do all these things and I'm trying to make people outraged. I want people to be aware of these situations and I want people to be aware of censorship. Is that so fucking bad? Is that so bad? Am I such a bad person because I care? Someone did a cloud and said get help. Anyway, I think that you guys get the point. someone say, I legit thought this was a parody of like shit gamers say, but it's actually real, they care about this. Yeah, of course I care about censorship, and I think a lot of other people too. There are a lot of positive comments on this too, you know, half of the 800 comments are very positive and people do care. Someone said, I'm sure the Puritans were satisfied with this change. I think that it's funny that people like attack me and then block me. You could just message me and say, why the fuck do you care about this so much? Is that so hard? But that's all I really had to talk about with that. I didn't want to, I didn't want to push it too much, but it does have over 3,000 likes, over 800 comments, 558 retweets. It's still getting a lot of media traction right now by people. I know that, like, Mark Kern retweeted it, The Quartering made a video on it. Small things add up, and that's really why I talked about it. But that's all that I have, that's all that I really had to talk about for that topic, you guys. I do think that it is important. It's a small change, but it's still a change. And I played the game. You know, I'm not sitting here saying, fuck this game, boycott it. I played the game. I enjoyed it. I'm not someone that's going to say boycott a game or don't play it if you don't like it. If you like it, please play it. Just be aware of these situations and just be aware. Is that a lot to ask for? So that's all that I really had to talk about with that, you guys. Tonight we talked about Dead or Alive 6. We talked about Jill. We talked about Cooking Mama, you know, Bitcoin Mama. We talked about the Birds of Prey sequel, and we talked about Carlos Gomez's art. I will go to the Q&A portion of this stream, but I did want to say, you guys, I actually was gifted Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, 2 weeks ago, I started Doom. That was a new game that came out. This week I did Resident Evil 3 Remake. I already finished that live game. I did it in 2 live streams. And this week, I will be playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake on the channel. I do have to wait for a capture card to come in. Luckily, the person that gifted me Final Fantasy VII's Remake actually purchased a capture card for the channel, which is awesome. That should be in Thursday, I hope. If it's not, I will let you guys know. But right now, I should be, as far as I know, live streaming Final Fantasy VII's Remake on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. But please join the Discord if you're not part of it already so that I can update you guys. Yeah, I have to pre-order it still, but I was gifted the funds for it, so I'm very excited for that. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the chat now. I will talk to you guys for a few minutes. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you guys listening to my Titan talk on people being triggered over my opinion. Yeah, keep at it, Very, you're a voice for many. Well, thank you. I appreciate, you know, you supporting my content. I do very much so appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. I obviously want to branch out my content. I do really want to talk more about, you know, censorship and things like anime and the entertainment industry. If you guys see an example of something that is, you know, if you guys see an example of something that's censored, like a game or something that's changed or something that you guys feel is important, please send it to me. Send it to me on Discord. Tag me on Twitter. I cannot find all of the content. There are people that are criticizing me over, like, not talking about other games and other changes. I can't cover it all if you guys don't let me know what it is. I do my best for media research, but if you guys see a topic, please tag me on Twitter, post it in our Discord server in the content section. You know, I definitely will talk about something if it's even if it's small. You guys see the small things that I talk about. And if you have not seen one of my previous videos, my video from yesterday, it is a very important video. Please go and check it out. I talked about censorship and how it is a problem in the gaming industry and how it matters. Even if, you know, you're not aware of a lot of censorship in the gaming industry, it's very important. And please go and listen to the video. I just linked it in chat for you guys. How are your expectations for the remake of Final Fantasy VII? So I'm a little bit skeptical because it's part 1. The thing with the Final Fantasy VII remake is the fact that it's not like it's a whole game. It's mainly Midgar. You know, you leave Midgard and then that's like where the game stops. So it's part 1, and they didn't market it properly, in my opinion. They're saying it's the Final Fantasy VII remake that we've all been waiting for, but they don't say that it's part 1. I am excited for it, though. I'm excited for the combat. It looks really good. The character development looks really good. How in-depth the scenes are going to be. I'm very excited for it. I wasn't actually planning on getting it until it was donated to me. I was going to wait a little bit, but hopefully I should be streaming it on Friday night. Let's hope that Amazon delivers on that capture card. That would be amazing. Also, I did want to say that I've posted it in Discord, and I'm not sure if anyone is here, but I was actually gifted a desktop boom arm for my microphone, a shock mount, and on probably next week, I should be actually updating my PC, because I was actually gifted 32 gigabytes of RAM, which was a huge update that my computer needed, so thank you to Doa for that. And the boom arm was... Who is the boom arm from? Let me check real quick. Let me check real quick. It was from Oron, I believe. Yeah, Oron X. He donated the boom arm and the shock mount, and Doa donated the 32 gigabytes of RAM. And I actually have a brand new graphics card on the way. I'm so excited. So probably next weekend, my PC will be getting a lot of upgrades, which I am very, very excited for. I do still need, at some point, the Intel i7-9700 processor, with the gaming motherboard, and I do need some more lights for the setup. I do have a public Amazon wish list in case you guys want to view it, in case you want to gift anything that is on it. It is right there. But I was purchased quite a few great upgrades for the channel, which I do very much so appreciate it. It's awesome that, you know, people support the channel, and it does really help the channel. Obviously, you know, it's expensive to upgrade your PC, you know, 32 gigabytes of RAM, a brand new graphics card, you know, all this stuff does add up, and I appreciate all of your support so much. I was gifted the RTX 2070 Super, which is amazing, and then I got the 32 gigs of RAM, and I was also gifted an Elgato HD60S and the arm and the microphone. So hopefully within the next week, my PC will be upgraded. I'll show you guys in Discord, and also I will set up the boom arm and everything so you guys can see my setup. But yeah, it's very much so appreciated. I just wanted to, you know, say a public thank you. I'm not sure if the donators are here, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, I have a PS4. I'm waiting on the capture card. It should be here Thursday, so hopefully Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be able to stream the Final Fantasy VII Remake. But we have to wait on the capture card. Should be here. Crossing my fingers. Let's hope. Yeah, I'm getting a 2070 Super RTX. Super appreciated. As the Amazon list says, I do still need, you know, the Intel Core. That's not a big deal. If anyone wants to donate towards that, that'd be awesome. But it's, you know, obviously I know that the world's a very crazy place right now, but I so much appreciate the donations that went to that. Dark is a neckbeard, guys. I'm a neckbeard. I need my panty shots in games, you guys. I need all my women to be over-sexualized. I'm not an only PC player, actually. I own an Xbox One X, I own a Nintendo Switch, and I own a PlayStation 4 Pro. I don't stream those consoles, though, but with the capture card, I definitely want to stream PlayStation 4 games. But I really am very excited because now I can stream Nintendo Switch games. I can stream, you know, Animal Crossing. I can stream other Mario games. I can stream Breath of the Wild if I wanted. I can stream Nintendo games now, Switch games, which is awesome. Something I wasn't able to do before. So that is very exciting. I did previously have a capture card, but it kind of died on me, unfortunately. So the new one is a very big upgrade and a very appreciated upgrade. I mainly, you know, play on PC. I'm a big PC gamer, but I do have all of the other consoles right next to me. Expensive, but well worth it. Oh, for the RTX, yeah. You know, these upgrades are very expensive, but you know, when I'm streaming so much and my streaming schedule is very aggressive, I really want to make sure that it's top quality for myself, but also you guys. You know, you guys are the ones watching the gameplay. If the gameplay looks like shit, it's not going to be very amusing. Are you planning to play Persona 5 Royale at some point? I'm not sure if I will stream that or get that at release. That's still a bit of ways away, I think. Persona 5 Royale. So many new games coming out lately, it's very hard to keep track of. Oh, are you talking about the previous one, or are you talking about the new one that's coming out? What's the new one that's coming out? Release date US. March 31st. Wait, it already came out? I didn't think that it came out yet. Did it? Really? For real? The new game? No. Oh. It's out? It just came out. I missed it. So many new games coming out lately. A lot to keep track of. I may play it at some point. Are you going to talk about Sony refunding Who Bought The Last of Us Part 2? I haven't heard about that, actually. Did Sony refund people for The Last of Us 2? Refund Last of Us Part 2. I know that they're holding back Last of Us Part 2 indefinitely. Oh. I didn't actually know that. The Last of Us 2 was taken off the PlayStation Store following the indefinite delay. And they're also issuing refunds to the people that purchased it. I didn't actually know about that. That's interesting. I'm surprised that they're doing that because they're supposed to be releasing it soon. You know, obviously they're holding it back a little bit, but they're supposed to be releasing it in the next, like, year. I wonder why they were funding it. I'm going to look more into that. I'm not going to discuss it right now because I want to look more into it. Look like the game will be turned down. Interesting. I have it up. I'm going to look more into it. I may make a video on it or discuss it in the next talk stream for sure. Last of Us Part 2 is going to be canceled, mark my words. I've said it. I think that The Last of Us 2 is going to be one of those games that people are going to wait for years and it's not going to come out, or it's going to come out really bad. Like, I think that it's going to be delayed. Now that it's delayed indefinitely, we might see it in like 2 years. I think it's going to be a game that's not actually going to come out. I've said that from the beginning, though. But, alright, you guys, I'm going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do very much so appreciate it. If you are not already part of our Discord, please consider joining it. We are very active there. I talk to you guys about the games that I'm playing, you know, the plans for the future, upgrades, everything like that. I also tag you guys when I'm live streaming, so in case YouTube does not notify anyone, because unfortunately YouTube does not like me tonight, and they don't like me a lot of the times, honestly. They don't like me a lot of the times. If you are not already supporting me on Patreon, please consider becoming a Dark Titan for just $1 a month. You can become a Dark Titan and support the channel, and I do have higher tiers in case you do want to support. But yeah, I will be in Discord if you all want to chat. So thank you so much for stopping by tonight, and have a fantastic night, everybody.